Well, you know, things just got serious when the bandana goes on. So we are in the process now of putting that big ass pile of organic mushroom compost, that's 3 yards, that's about 6,000 pounds, onto the beds. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to fill 5-gallon buckets. I've got 2, and we're going to walk them down the garden rows, and we're just going to basically just make piles. And after we have all those piles in all the beds, what we're going to do then is we're going to rake them out flat. There's going to be compost left, and then we're going to put a second row on top. The reason we can't put basically 2 batches at a time on the beds is because it's just rolling off into the pathways. It's just a waste. So we can only put so high a piles on the pathways as we go. And so I'll flip this camera around, you'll see what I'm talking about. So basically we're just making piles, you guys can see, right? And it doesn't take long, it's not hard work, but that's a big pile. See, how long did that take? So one of the tricks, so for those of you who don't know, I've got a very extensive background in landscaping, and I have spent, 20 years digging dirt. One of the most important things you can do when you're digging out of a pile like this is don't stand on the material that you got to dig, because you're going to squish it into the ground, you're going to make it more compact, and you're going to make your life harder, right? So I put my buckets right next to the pile. I dig from the closest area in the pile into the buckets, because you don't want to dig from over there and swing your shovel all the way to there, right? Dig by the pile into your buckets. Keep your buckets like they're right at the side of the pile, okay? And I'm cleaning up, see this area right here? As I dig back into the pile, I take my hard rake and I just rake whatever is loose on the ground back into the pile, and I'm never stepping on stuff that I haven't raked up yet, because if not, I'm going to press it into the ground and then I'm going to have to rake it out of the ground after I've stepped on it. So don't make your life hard. Don't step on your material that you're trying to dig. All right, and then we'll just carry it right over. Easy. And 5-gallon buckets are nice. They will take a stupid amount of abuse. Another thing to do is when you're going to use your 5-gallon buckets to move material like this, take some duct tape and wrap up your handles, okay? And then they won't cut into your hands as much. And some of these handles, they're a 2-piece, okay? And they're split. And what happens is if you put too much strain on that handle, those handles will just split into 2 pieces right down the length, and then you have no handle, and all you have is this stupid ass wire that's going to cut your hand all to crap. So take your handles, wrap some duct tape around them. Your hands will thank you, especially when you have 6,000 pounds to move with your paws. So be nice on your paws. Well, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I started putting the compost down at about 1 o'clock. That little pile is all I have left. That's a little over half a yard, give or take. And then, stupid ass planes. And then, so we got them all done. Boom, boom, 4 on each side. This bed took extra because it's wider. It's almost 4 feet across, because everything I did was in straight lines with the string line. But when when Mike tilled up this, he, I guess, swooped in a little bit with his tractor and chewed up some of that. So I figured if it's tilled up, I'm going to plant on it. And so it took a little more compost. So 5-gallon buckets at a time. And I only have 3 blisters. Only. So that's great. So now I'm going to take my hard rake and I'm going to rake all this flat. And I had planned on starting to put down all that geotextile today. But I think once I rake all that flat, I think I'm just going to call it a day and go home and come back and start tomorrow. We'll see. Everything's just kind of fly by the seat of your pants based on how much time I have left in my day and how much energy I got. So we'll be back, and next time you see this, everything's going to be raked nice and flat. Well, there we go. We got them all raked out. What do you think, guys? Looks pretty good, eh? We have that little bit of soil left that's less than a half a yard, and we've got them all. They're all raked. They're not perfect raked, but they're raked. And we've got our pathways done, and I've just plumb run out of steam. So I didn't get that geotextile installed today that I wanted to, but if I push too hard today, I'm gonna have a harder time tomorrow. So tomorrow is T-posts. I've got 8-footers. A bit of advice, if you guys are gonna be buying T-posts like that, buy the 8-footers. Don't buy the 6-footers, because if you're gonna install trellis netting, if you take your 6-footers, I've got a couple of 6-footers in there, and you're putting them into tilled soil, by the time you go through the fluffy tilled soil and into the hard packed underneath, you're losing 18 plus inches of your T-post, which is leaving you, give or take, only 4 feet left of T-post off the ground. So I run 8-footers, and especially if you're growing tomatoes, you want those tomatoes to be able to grow tall. We grow 8 to 10 foot tall tomatoes. So the longer the T-post, the better it is. It's a little bit of a headache to hammer them into the ground at first, but they have a lot more holding power. So, and you guys can see here, this is definitely wider than 30 inches. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna grow here. I may actually plant cabbages and cauliflower here, because they can spread out. They can take more room without, putting them in one of those beds and having it encroach on the pathways. I think that's probably the plan. We're gonna have to switch stuff up a little bit from the way we had it last year, but that's good because it keeps me on my toes and keeps me thinking. And you guys are probably thinking, Green Thumb, those beds don't look 30 inches anymore. Well, they started out as 30, but what happens is when you dig your pathways out and you put the material on the top, the sides end up sloping down and you lose width. So if you're gonna do something like this, just keep in mind you're gonna lose a bit of width. So like you guys can see, there's exposed soil on the side. When I come back tomorrow, I'm gonna give everything a rake, and I'm gonna let some of the compost sort of slide down the side a little bit, and it's gonna widen out my pathways for me. Because right now they're only, maybe 24 inches, give or take, where the compost is. But it's wet and it's damp, so it's a little clumpy. So by tomorrow, it'll be nice and dry, and I'll be able to rake it out smoother, flatter. And then it's gonna be geotextile and T-posts, and not sure. So if you guys sort of like the content that I'm putting out here, I'd appreciate it if you're subscribed to the channel. We're trying to grow this channel. We're literally just trying to teach people how to grow food to feed their families. So if that's something you're interested in, you should stick around, because we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff on this channel this year. Give me a big thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. And leave me something in the comments. Let me know how your garden's coming along. I know some of you guys in the States, you're way farther ahead than me. You don't have to worry about frost like I do. So Let me know how things are going at your spot. All right? Have an awesome day. Grow good food. See ya.